Good morning. I know there is limitation in time, so I will not go through a lot of these charts. So something which has been very amply clear from the previous presenters was that the key issues are power, cooling, and infrastructure, right? From a real estate point of view. The Gartner says that 37% is coming from cooling, the issues related to cooling, and 47% is from power, and the rest is into security and device-related issues. At the same time, Gartner also says that in 2009, you will see 50% of the data centers will go functionally obsolete, primarily because of the increase in the power requirement, the new type of platforms which are coming in, which needs more power. So industry is under pressure actually to consolidate, virtualize, and orchestrate as far as the data center is concerned. So a lot of these industry vendors have actually come up with strategies to how to virtualize. Like we heard, Sun had a rack version of data center. So similar way, there are various aspects of the data centers. So you have the storage aspect, you have the computing aspect, and you have the networking aspect. Right? So I look at all these three angles and then come up with what's the best way if you're building a greenfield data center in terms of bringing it most efficient way. Another key aspect is some of these requirements may be difficult to comprehend. Like, why do you need so much of storage space? Why do we need so much of infrastructure? But it all points to you all know the phenomena of Second Life phenomena. We all know the Web 2.0 phenomena. We all know the service-oriented architecture, or SOA. So these are the ones which drive the industry in terms of web services. And it is commonly seen in any data center. When you look at designing a data center, these are my future services, or probably we know the Second Life is happening today. So we know that this is reality today, that a lot of websites are heavily loaded with information and graphic content. Another key aspect is the unified communication. I think statewide area networks and the state networks or the federal networks, again, unified communication and service-oriented architecture is one of the key elements. So it all needs a lot of information to be stored and retrieved efficiently and intelligently in the data center. So these are the three key things: consolidation, virtualization, orchestration. So that comprises or defines the intelligent data center. So in consolidation, what happens is most of the infrastructure becomes centralized. One of the early entrant into this was the finance industry. We know the centralized banking solution where Mr. Vidyasagar mentioned the data center for UTA Bank. So it is like all the customer database and information and transactional details are actually consolidated to one site, and then that needs quite a bit of infrastructural requirement. So that's happening. We have seen that happening from early 2000. And we know the other key aspect is the virtualization. I think it needs a couple of hours to define virtualization. What level of virtualization and what are the key benefits on virtualization. But at this point in time, I'll just leave it at virtualization is actually virtualizing storage, computing, and network into more intelligent, more efficient infrastructure. And orchestration, actually bringing all these things together, maybe a service-oriented architecture, and working all of them together to deliver the end-user services. So I will look at each of this. Computing is the first one, storage, networking, and services. So computing, we know the old model, we know the average CPU utilization with 27%. And with virtualization, we can actually look at a CPU utilization of over 87%. How we do that? We actually compartmentalize the CPUs into multiple virtual machines and then allow customer-level separations between those virtual machines. It's the same applicable to storage. Again, storage, you can have a dedicated storage area for every customer. From a data center point of view, when I look at it, even for state networks, you'll have multiple stakeholders within the state network. They are, in a way, virtual machines within a single data center. And most importantly, the networking aspect of it, that's where Nortel, as a company, we are perfect in the art of virtualizing these services. In terms of when you look at, if you look at 1,000 servers in a data center, we know that we need 2,000 ports on an Ethernet switch. I mean, and if these 1,000 servers belong to 1,000 customers, then that means we know that 1,000 virtual networks to be present with overlapping information and stuff like that. So it needs a huge virtual network in place. So what we do is the core network infrastructure is virtualized, both at control and forwarding plane, so that you don't need to replicate one network switch per customer. We can use the same network switch and then virtualize in all formats, not only just the VLAN level type of segregation, but even at the control plane. So in all practical purposes, it acts as a single machine, a single network per user. But at the same time, it actually is a single physical device virtualized to many customers. Coming to service, again, we know security has been heard in a couple of presentations. Security is again key thing. If you try to dedicate a security device per customer or per department, then that becomes a huge investment for the network. So another key aspect is virtual service machines or virtual operating system, where you could actually do quality of service, you could do the firewall, you can do the threat protection system, admission control, then heuristics information. All these things can be put into virtual machines. So the services are virtualized. So the industry trend is that you have a completely virtualized network. Maybe in terms of hardware, it may be quite a few, but in terms of services, you get all features in completely virtualized way. So this is the concept of virtual rack. We have seen racks, physical racks weighing many tons. So we talk about virtual racks, which includes virtual CPU, virtual storage, and virtual networks. And each virtual rack is assigned to a customer. So that's how the way the data center industry is moving. So I don't take much time in just giving more information.